different styles of kettlebells that are offered in the Garage Gym store. Now, you know kettlebells are a great strength and conditioning tool, and they make a great addition to any gym. They're versatile, low maintenance, easy to store, you name it. They're good to have around. Now, there's a few criteria to consider when purchasing a kettlebell. Number one would be design. How well is the kettlebell engineered? Is the bell too large? Are the handles too small for two-handed swings? Can you easily identify how heavy the kettlebell is? These are all things to consider when you look at a kettlebell. Next would be texture. By the texture, I don't mean just the overall smoothness or roughness of the kettlebell, but more specifically, we're looking at the handle of the kettlebell. If the handle of the kettlebell isn't very smooth, you're going to prematurely tear calluses, and if you don't have calluses on your hands, you're going to just rip the skin off your hands, which is never good. So definitely, if you are looking at high rep swings, high rep snatches, you definitely want a kettlebell that has smooth handles. And so we'll be looking at that today as well. Durability is another important factor to look at. And by durability, we'll look at what sort of materials are used in the construction of the kettlebell, how well will the kettlebell hold up to abuse in the gym. These are all important factors to look at. Part of the benefit of kettlebells is the fact that they're not a very high-tech piece of equipment. There's no moving parts. There's nothing to break off of it. The only thing you really need to worry about with a kettlebell is it rusting, and we'll look at that as well. So that's part of the benefit of having kettlebells. Is usually they're a one-time purchase, and they should last a lifetime. And finally, we'll be taking a look at price, and we'll be examining the per-pound price of the kettlebells, and that's always good to look at, especially if you're on a tight budget and trying to outfit your gym. So first up, we have the Apollo kettlebell. And the Apollo kettlebell is a cast iron kettlebell with a smooth gloss finish. It features a removable rubber pad on the base, and all you need to remove that rubber pad is a hex wrench, and there's just one screw on the bottom, and it's really quick to take off. But the rubber pad is nice if you're training in a Globo gym, or maybe let's say you're renting your space for your gym, or if you're working out at home and you're worried about scratching up the floors. That rubber pad is nice because it'll keep that kettlebell not only in place, and it'll prevent it from tipping over. Another nice feature about the Apollo kettlebells, they have kilos written on the front and pounds on the back, just in case you never learned the metric system in school. The Apollo has a pretty smooth handle, which makes it perfect for high rep snatches, cleans, and swings. Any sort of high repetition movement, that handle is pretty easy to hold on to, and it's not going to tear up your hands at all. All this at only 90 cents a pound. The Apollo is a pretty good buy, I'd say. The Powermax kettlebell is a black cast iron bell with a rough texture. It's a pretty bare bones kettlebell. There's no rubber pad on the base. There's no fancy epoxy coating. It's just a straight up hunk of iron that they've shaped into a kettlebell. Now, it's got a really rough texture, and that might work for you, but I personally don't like it just because that rough texture tends to tear at calluses when doing any sort of cleans or snatches. And Powermax actually has a bit of a ridge on the underside of the handle, and that ridge will just constantly, as you rotate the bell around your hand, back and forth, it just keeps wearing at your calluses, and it really starts to suck after a while. So now on the other hand, if you're having trouble with grip and you just need something that's a little more tactile, absolutely go for the Powermax. Here we have the kettlebells manufactured by US Kettlebells. These have a flat black finish. They're also cast iron bell, and you've probably seen these on the website compared to the Dragon Door bells. And I can tell you that they are very similar to the Dragon Door bells. The only real difference that I've seen between the two is that the Dragon Door has a high gloss epoxy finish, and it's way more expensive. For the same 24 kilo kettlebell, the US kettlebell is $45, and the Dragon Door bell is $110. That's almost 2.5 times the cost, which is way more. So if you're looking to save money, definitely go with the US kettlebells. They are very comparable in the finish and their quality. It's balanced really well, and again, the US kettlebell also has smooth handles, which are great for those high rep kettlebell movements we've been talking about. The US kettlebells are only 85 cents a pound. For the quality that you get, I don't think you can beat this deal. I think it's probably the best kettlebell that's stocked in the garage gym store. For the price, you can't beat it, and the build quality is solid. Finally, we'll be taking a look at the US Kettlebell adjustable kettlebell stack. And as you can see here, this kettlebell comes with different weight plates that are interchangeable, and you can go anywhere from 16 kilos all the way up to 32 kilos, which is 35 pounds up to 70 pounds. And that's pretty, for your average male athlete, that will cover pretty much any load and any sort of workout that might come up in programming that you'll ever need. We also offer a lighter version for the women, which it goes from 9 pounds to 25 pounds, or 4 kilos to 12 kilos. The version you see on screen here is currently configured as a 16 kilo bell, and it's a great bell if you're tight on space. Instead of having 9 kettlebells, you can have 9 different increments of kettlebell in one, so it saves a ton of space. I wouldn't really recommend these bells for anybody who's operating out of a larger box or has the budget for more kettlebells, simply because you or your clients are going to end up losing those adjustment plates, and I doubt Lisa has any extra ones laying around her house to send you. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these kettlebells. Another point I'd like to make is that the handle is kind of rough, so if you're looking at doing any sort of snatches, you probably either want to sand the handles down or go with a different kettlebell. Because there's a significant amount of plastic on this kettlebell, I would really not recommend dropping this thing. You'll probably crack or shatter or break something. So definitely, again, consider that when purchasing a kettlebell. If you know your clients are going to be a little bit careless with the equipment, go with something a little more durable. If it's just you're working out of your garage, then I think you might be okay. Now that you've seen the 4 bells, let's take a look at them in use. I had Lauren try out the Apollo, Powermax, US Kettlebell, and US Kettlebell adjustable stack, and I got her opinion on the bells. Lauren, what'd you think?
Well, Calvin, out of the 4 kettlebells that you brought in here, my favorite one actually is the Apollo, and I would say because of the sleek handle, it's very easy to maneuver, and it has that really nice base, so you can also do renegade rows with it, as well as you can protect the floors. So that's just an all-in-one kettlebell that preferably I would go for right away. But the second one that I really like, that maybe men might like a little bit better, is the US Kettlebell. And there's no epoxy on it, which is nice just in case you're doing high reps. You know, it's not going to slip out of your hands as easy as the Apollo. So that's, I would say, more for if you're really looking to do high reps, and you don't mind a slightly thicker handle, you're looking for grip strength, the US Kettlebell would be almost second to the Apollo.
Thanks, Lauren. Be sure to check out her website, www.ontheedgefitness.com. So just to recap, we've got the Apollo, which is a smooth-handled kettlebell at 90 cents a pound. We've got the Powermax kettlebell, which is a rough textured kettlebell at $1.50 a pound. The US Kettlebell, which is another smooth handle with no epoxy, as Lauren mentioned, at 85 cents a pound. And we've got the US Kettlebell adjustable stack. And the men's is $129.95 and $79.95 for the women's version. So that's all I have for you today on kettlebells. If you have any more questions or comments, please feel free to contact the Garage Gym store staff, and they'll be happy to talk to you. For the Garage Gym, I'm Calvin Sun. Thanks for watching.